Michael Popok, Legal AF, with some new Supreme Court rulings. This one's not going to get Elon Musk jumping for joy like he was in Butler, Pennsylvania, like he was on some sort of pogo stick. Instead, it's a ruling by the Supreme Court to deny the appeal by X/Twitter to try to help out Donald Trump and not provide, in the future at least, any documents or information, data about Donald Trump's use of X or Twitter. They had tried to block and stop Jack Smith's search warrant that was approved by Beryl Howell, who at the time presided over the grand jury and other proceedings in the D.C. courts, when he went to that judge and said, we need a search warrant or a subpoena to get all the information directly from Twitter. The direct messaging, DMs for Donald Trump, his use of Twitter, the timestamps around his use for Twitter. We need all of that direct feed from X, from Twitter. And Judge, you can't allow Donald Trump to know about it. You know what happened. This is their argument. You know what happened in Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump trying to hide, destroy documents and information from the federal government during a search warrant execution. And in general, you can't let him do it again. There's a reasonable likelihood that Donald Trump will try to destroy the information or the evidence that's contained with X if you give him the opportunity to. In fact, they even made the argument that maybe Donald Trump's a flight risk. And Beryl Howell, the judge, says, I agree. Subpoena goes to X, but with a non-disclosure requirement by court order. They are not to inform Donald Trump before they turn over this information. It's supposed to go directly from X and Twitter. Now, they objected. They ran to court. They ran to the appellate courts. And the appellate courts also sided with Beryl Howell, the judge, and said, no, there was good reason for the judge to rule that there was a likelihood, a chance of destruction of documents and evidence and data if you allow Donald Trump to get involved with this process. So that was upheld. Now, Twitter and X and Musk ran to the United States Supreme Court to argue that their First Amendment rights to be able to tell their customer that they are being searched and they're having to turn over the entirety of their files and their data and their account information about this person, that their First Amendment rights are being violated. Plus, they try to assert executive privilege because they try to argue that Donald Trump, even though this was his private account, somehow he used it for official business and there was executive privilege. Forget everything you know about fasting. Prolon by L-Nutra is the only patented fasting mimicking diet that combines the benefits of prolonged fasting with a science-backed nutrition plan so you can hit your health and weight loss goals without actually having to give up all food. Introducing Prolon, a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe they're fasting. Researched and developed for decades at the University of Southern California Longevity Institute and backed by leading U.S. medical centers, Prolon helps promote healthy blood sugar, support cardiovascular health, and reduce abdominal fat. But Prolon isn't a diet. Prolon is science. Science based on Nobel Prize-winning discoveries in medicine. It all starts with Prolon's 5-day program. Snacks, soups, and beverages, all designed to keep your body in a fasting state. It's unlike anything you've ever experienced. I did the 5-day program, and I feel so much better. Prolon really isn't like any other diet I've tried, and that's because it's not a diet. It truly is science. It was so convenient, they sent me everything I needed all in one box. It's no wonder why thousands of doctors now recommend Prolon to support healthy blood sugar and cardiovascular health. Right now, Prolon is offering Legal AF listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program. Go to prolonlife.com/legalaf. That's PROLON life.com/legalaf for this special offer. That's prolonlife.com/legalaf. Let's walk through this. In the hearing at the trial court level, Beryl Howell got very angry with the Twitter and X lawyers and sanctioned them a couple of times for being late in producing everything. Even when she ordered them to produce everything, they still foot dragged because Musk, as you can see from Butler, Pennsylvania, has been trying to help Donald Trump all along. That information was so important to Jack Smith's prosecution that in the 165 pages that we just got, there is a whole section about Donald Trump's use of Twitter and X in the dining room while he watched the Capitol burn in the siege that he created. That's a big section of the 165-page immunity determination paper that Jack Smith has filed with all that evidence. That came directly from what I'm talking about now. And the Supreme Court must know about it because it's been publicly reported. I'm sure they've taken a peek at the 165 pages before it came up to them. So I'm just trying to prove the importance of the information and the fact that how mind-blowing it was that a judge, having heard evidence, believed it was more likely than not that Donald Trump would destroy evidence based on what he had done down in Mar-a-Lago. I mean, Donald Trump was hard-pressed for him to say, oh, I wouldn't touch a hair on that document when he'd done exactly that or worse in Mar-a-Lago. And so this Supreme Court, in a miracle, has decided to reject the appeal, leaving standing the D.C. Court of Appeals decision supporting Beryl Howell's decision that the subpoena to Twitter and X, with the requirement that there not be any notification, a non-disclosure order, to the target of the search warrant, in this case Donald Trump, is legitimate. There's no unconstitutional aspect of it, nothing to reverse on appeal, so that law stands. Now, there was also an argument raised by the government, by Jack Smith, that this is moot, right? This is moot. This is moot because the documents have already all been turned over. The cat is out of the bag. The milk is on the table, whatever those phrases are. And so Supreme Courts are not supposed to make rulings about things that have already happened unless there's a likelihood of them happening again in the future. That was the argument that X made. Oh, they're going to do it again. Right. When there's the next attempt to overthrow democracy by Donald Trump and Elon Musk, sure, there's going to be another one. And now the precedent is it is appropriate for a trial judge to determine on her facts that it's more likely than not that somebody like Donald Trump is going to obstruct justice and destroy documents and issue a non-disclosure order when a subpoena goes to a platform like X or Twitter. Now, this is going to come as news to Musk because he's just lost he won't be able, this will blow his mind. He just lost at the MAGA Supreme Court when all along, he's been telling people, including at Butler, Pennsylvania, at that crazed, out of control moment where he told the crowd after jumping up and down that it was the Democrats who were the threat to democracy. Let's roll the clip.
President Trump must win to preserve the Constitution. He must win to preserve democracy in America.
Uh-oh. How are you going to reconcile this, Musk? I'm going to be doing another hot take on new reporting that Musk is offering to pay $67 for every MAGA voter who gets registered. I don't think you can do that under the election laws, by the way. Just like when Musk's mother recently said that all MAGA needs to do is take a whole bunch of unregistered people and illegal aliens and have them go down and register as Republicans, and that seems to be fine under the law. No, that's a request to commit crimes, Musk mother. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. I mean, we always thought that Elon Musk was deranged, that he was one of those evil geniuses from a Bond movie or from Mission Impossible. He's pretty close at this point, to be frank with you. And now he's going to have to try to figure out with his minions and his followers and Donald Trump, what happened at the Supreme Court? There's not even a dissent. Even the MAGA didn't dissent. I mean, when you get the decision list on a day, the first Monday in October, the Supreme Court had already done a lot of work before Monday's opening day, and they issued hundreds and hundreds of decisions, some of which dealt with cases from last year. That's why I'm able to report on this right now. I got great news. If you like this kind of in-depth analysis at the intersection of law and politics, I got two great places for you to go next. We have a new YouTube channel called Legal AF MTN with MeidasTouch Network. Legal AF and MeidasTouch looked at each other and said, we got so much to talk about at the intersection of law and politics. We need another channel. And so we created it. I got a great name for it. Legal AF MTN from MeidasTouch Network. Free subscribe right now. We built a channel of 165,000 subscribers in 18 days. It's unheard of. It's a record. It's because of you guys and everybody out there, the Legal AFers and the Meidas Mighty, building it together. We're sitting at that intersection of law and politics over there and bringing you regular reporting, including a new show called Unprecedented about what else? The United States Supreme Court. Once a week, me and Dina Dahl and other guests that will be coming on will talk about everything that happens that's important at the United States Supreme Court for you, only exclusively on Legal AF MTN on Unprecedented. And we've got court accountability, a new group for Legal AF joining us to talk about corruption at the federal court system all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. They do amazing exposés, hard-hitting investigative reporting. Court Accountability has joined with Legal AF MTN. Come join us there for all their new content under their individual playlist, Court Accountability Action. So until my next hot take here on Legal AF and MTN, and my next exclusive video on the Legal AF MTN YouTube channel. This is Michael Popak, and I'm reporting. In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.